Hey, welcome. This is my first time going live. I've never been live before. Um, I've been on YouTube for let's say maybe about 2 months. But I have different topics. I talk about God. I talk about religion. A little bit of relationships. People stereotyping, all different types of stuff. But just trying to gain my audience and just trying to basically show you what I'm all about. But today I just been thinking about, talking a little bit about relationships, just trying to, get me an audience where I can hopefully share some things with you guys that you probably can possibly relate to. So I was gonna talk about how you know if your relationship is over. And you think about it, you just be like, folks have this I don't give a damn attitude, right? And it's like at the end of the day, you know, most people just rather try to stay in the relationship. They rather hold on because they know, through the trying times, it's going to get very, very difficult. It's going to be very, very painful. And sometimes it's so painful to where it hurt, you don't even want to let go. So sometimes people rather just stay together, because they know in the back of their head, it's going to be war, you know. So once again, you take men's out here, these men's out here, they would probably rather try to save their relationship. They'll say, yes, yeah, I made a mistake and um, it was my fault. I was in the wrong. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. They say all types of things to try to save their relationship because they know in the back of their head, they like, man, I can't afford to lose you because I got just too much to lose, right? And if I got all this over here to lose, therefore I ain't got nothing to gain. You know, a lot of times women, on the other hand, they want the relationship to work. You know, women really mean well. They want stuff to grow, and they put their heart and soul into their relationship. I'm talking about the good women, the women that mean well, not the ones that's playing games. And they'd be like, you know what, we should involve, we should buy a house, we should get married, we should have a family, you know, I can introduce you to my family, you can introduce me to your family. And this type of woman is for real when she's going into a relationship because she's not playing around. She's trying to be that woman who she's trying to be. And it's just all about if she truly loves that man the correct way. You know what I mean? I believe every woman should have the man that they truly love because if she loves him, she gonna go all out for him. She gonna do all she can for him, and at the same time, that should go hand in hand, vice versa. You know what I mean? It should go the same way for both parties. You know, and like I was saying, they want to have family. They want to have their kids, and the woman want to have her offsprings. But then you got some women, they just get with these dudes and they just having kids because they like, man, I just want my kids. Do I think that's a good way to do that? No, I don't. I think that's toxic as all get out. I really do because you got a lot of kids with different dads and all the kids ain't getting the same treatment. It's unfair. So when I think about like indifference, it hit harder than than it hit more harder than a deadly like the deadly word, like the word hate. It hit harder than that. You know what I mean? And that lets you know the relationship is over. You know what I mean? Think about both men and women not texting each other. They not talking. You know, they not doing things together. They not even going out to eat. I mean, they not even going places. So when it's like that, and y'all not making plans to do things, and y'all don't see like eye to eye, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a wrap, you know what I'm saying? So like if I can't even put my own self into it, so I say I, right? Me. And I'm not putting my eye into your eye. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I'm not doing what you're doing. And I'm not even there with you. I'm not even supporting you. And you got a good woman, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna hurt because what's gonna end up happening is some of these women, you know what I'm saying, they'll walk out and real talk, she's thinking about a whole lot of things after she decides to walk out, you know, to the moment where she's thinking about, you know what, she's thinking about the minutes of it from the time she walk out. She's thinking about the days of it, the hours of it, the weeks of it. And then the weeks could turn into months, and the months could turn into years. And sometimes men don't really, look at it like that. You know what I mean? They don't really take the time to really look in it the right way. So that's why I say she's looking at it for months and years from now, you know, at a point where she knows it's a wrap. And same way with sometimes some of these men, they don't truly care because, for an example, this man could have just been raised by his mother, and he has took the time to ask his mom, like, "Mom, what do I do when I'm in a toxic relationship, and this relationship is just all bad, and I just know for a fact, me and my girlfriend, or vice versa, the girl say, me and my boyfriend, we're on the verge of breaking up." And what might happen is he might start ignoring her. He might not pay her no attention at all. And the truth is, it's either going to hurt that woman or she's not going to care. And over time, once a woman get to the point where, she shuts down and she knows she wanted that relationship to work. And what happens is it becomes very, very bad. You know, over time, eventually she just shuts down completely. And it's not only she's mad and sad, but she's fed up. And once you reach that point of no return, it ain't no coming back from that. You know what I mean? So that's when you know the relationship is over and there's nothing you can do. You know, it's sad it got to be like that. It's sad people would take it that far for it to even be like that when you could just be able to say, hold on, pause, let's throw a towel in, let's try to fix a way to fix this and talk about it. But that's when you know the relationship is over. You got some of these men, they can be very, very busy. He's not communicating with you. You know what I mean? He's not talking to you enough. He might leave and you know what? He may never come back. And if he don't come back, then once again, it is what it is. You know, if a woman's not fussing with you about certain things, once again, sometimes or 90% of the time, it's a wrap, straight up. So, I tell people this, even myself, I've been through breakups. And sometimes breakups can be good. You know, it can give you, like when you out of that relationship, like a fresh breath of air, it gives you time to reflect on you. It gives you time to sit back and say, you know what, this is something I could do. This is something I could work on. And, you just working on yourself, trying to get back to who you used to be, you know, um, because at one time before you was not in a relationship, you was just doing you know. So like I was saying, the relationship can teach you how once again to love yourself once again, how to put yourself first again. You know what I mean? Also meaning to live for you, live for yourself again. And work on bettering yourself, you know. But I mean, we all make mistakes and fall short and don't always say the right things. Sometimes it's just an accident and somebody take it the wrong way and they ready for it to be over. It happens to all of us, you know. But that also can mean, while you're working on yourself, like, man, go get your hair cut, brush your teeth, you know, take more showers, take care of your body, take care of your hygiene. Women, get your hair done. Get your nails done, get your toenails done. Wash your hair. You know, get you a brand new makeover. I mean, I think that's something worth doing. I mean, why lie to yourself? If you know you overweight, you still want to work out. That's saying you love you enough to take care of your body. That's gonna make it where you live longer and you be more healthier. You look more better. You don't look stressed out and mad at the world. You know what I mean? But yeah, you work out, work on feeding your brain, read books. Most importantly, establish yourself a personal relationship with God. If you believe, I mean, God will help you. I know that first and foremost, because when I first was going through my rough breakup, I had to find God, and He helped me through all of my troubles, all my trials, all my tribulations and things I was going through, through all the stressful time and the stressful days and stressful nights, and you don't know how you're going to get through, but you just can't do nothing but depend on God. You lean not to your own understanding, but lean to what God got going for you. And God will get you through the night and the day. He will. But you just gotta trust in God, and you just gotta put your trust in the Lord, and know that the Lord is God, and He gonna take care of you, and He don't break any of His spiritual promises with you. And as long as you put your whole heart into it, and you put your whole mind into it, I'm telling you, God will take care of you straight up, because God will see you through it. You know, and He always will always be with you while you're going through your rough times. And while you're going through it, just remember, nothing is too hard for the Lord. Not nothing. You know, Even though we be facing difficulty, and we're questioning God, and don't know what to do, and even though we're facing all these troubles and troublous times, um and sometimes you don't know which way to go. So you gotta, like, you can't go left, you can't go right. You gotta go straight up, you know. Or better yet, just look to God and just know that God is God, and He is our very God. You know what I'm saying? Because God was made for stuff like this. So when stuff goes sour, stuff go bad, we know for a fact, because God is a problem solver. He always solved the most difficult uh, things that we go through. He always take care of us, and He's always gonna be there for us. And with that being said, we just gotta know that He's able. So I always tell people, put your trust in God. Don't doubt Him. Always believe in Him. Know that He's gonna be there for you every step of the way. Don't fall for no, stupidity stuff, or whatever. And even when you are by yourself, learn to love you first and foremost, straight up. Um, Always put you first. Like, no matter what you're going through, put you first. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you expect somebody to love you? So that's how I see it. So when I was, myself, when I was dealing with my little old cars in the background, but when I was dealing with my relationships, I had to love me first. You know, Regardless of who I love, they might not love me. So at the end of the day, I gotta have love for myself, no matter what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to do the same thing. Put you first and love yourself, man. You do that, everything will work in your favor, straight up. So once again, YouTubers, thank you guys for watching my first live video. You know, like I said, I've never done this before. This is my first time. I hope I gave y'all some good news. I hope you can relate to it. I hope it was something educational. You know, it can help you along the way. Feel free to comment. You know, feel free to tell your side of the story in the comments. I'll read it. I'll check it out. You know what I mean? I will reply back to you. You know, whoever you are. At the end of the day, it's all about helping each other grow, and everybody can get better at this because no relationship is perfect. But most importantly, the key is to communicate. So if you don't know how to communicate, it's gonna be really, really hard. Okay. God bless.